It is Monday, June 28. Welcome to CGN News. Veteran Jamaican radio disc jock Ron Muschette recently signed a deal with the Caribbean Global Network CGN group to be included among the roster of talent for the group's Jamaican expansion via the launch of a new station. The Bridge 99 FM is poised to help to build stronger ties between Jamaica and the Jamaican diaspora in the New York tri-state area. This is to be achieved in part by a simulcast of the Bridge's programming by its sister station Irie Jam Radio 93.5 FM WVIP to its over 2 million strong Caribbean audience in the tri-state area. Ron Muschette, one of Jamaica's most respected radio disc jocks, joins the Bridge 99 FM team after over 6 years at Mellow FM as a morning show producer and broadcaster. CGN Group CEO Robert Bobby Clark has welcomed the new partnership with Muschette. Reports are that 3 crewmen were killed in Guyana when a vessel used to transport fuel exploded. A police statement said security personnel heard a loud explosion late Saturday at the pier south of Georgetown and found a raging fire. The bodies of the 3 sailors were found near the bow of the MV Canada Club. The vessel normally transports fuel from neighboring Trinidad for state-owned Guyana Oil Corporation and had been moored and offloaded at the time, the Associated Press reports. An investigation is underway. Haiti was on Friday placed on a grey list of countries under increased monitoring to counter money laundering and terrorist financing. The CMC reports that the other countries are Malta, the Philippines, and South Sudan. The Financial Action Task Force, which coordinates global efforts to crack down on money laundering, says nations on the list are working with it to correct deficiencies in their financial systems. The additions bring to 22 the number of countries currently under increased monitoring by the Intergovernmental Watchdog, which was created in 1989. Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, is leading an initiative of the Caribbean community Caricom to eliminate roaming charges for Caribbean nationals traveling within the region. Dr. Keith Mitchell, Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley, Caricom officials and the Caribbean Telecommunications Union met recently with Digicel and Cable and Wireless to discuss the issue. The removal of roaming rates was identified as an action for Caricom leaders some years ago. However, progress on the initiative has been slow. Mitchell is now reviving that effort and is seeking quick agreement. Concern is mounting in the education sector over the possibility of another shutdown of Jamaica's school system if the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions causes a third spike in cases of the virus. President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Jasford Gabriel, has called for an immediate review of the measures. Gabriel warned that less restrictions will see a rise in the infection rate, forcing the government to again make tough decisions. He says this would be a devastating blow to the education sector. St Lucia tourism officials say the return of the Celebrity Millennium cruise liner sets the tone for the gradual reintroduction of cruise tourism since the closure owing to the pandemic. Celebrity Millennium is due to arrive on Tuesday with an estimated 400 passengers. Officials also disclosed that calls from Royal Caribbean Cruises to Port Castries are scheduled for July 13 and August 10. The return of the cruise line signals the reinstatement of revenue for well over 1,000 cruise-dependent income earners. In 2019, St Lucia recorded close to 800,000 cruise visitors. Sandra Lindsay, the Jamaica-born nurse who was the first person in the United States to take the COVID-19 vaccine, has received her PhD in health sciences. Her older brother Garfield Lindsay, a respiratory therapist in Maryland, also received his PhD at the same ceremony from the AT University in Arizona. The Lindsays were featured in a recent joint interview on Saint International CEO Dwight Peters' celebrity-studded show, which airs on Television Jamaica. Sandra and Garfield grew up with their paternal grandmother in Palmer's Cross, Clarendon. A teacher by profession, she instilled in them the life-changing value of education, which inspired their passion for learning. Rescue workers say they are searching with every bit of hope as the hunt for survivors under the rubble of a collapsed Florida apartment block continues into a fifth day. More than 150 people are still missing, with 9 people confirmed to have died in Thursday's early morning disaster. The cause of the collapse in Surfside north of Miami remains unclear. An engineer's report from 2018 highlighted a major error in the original design of the 12-story seafront Champlain Towers. It said the fault prevented water draining away from the base of the building. 2 more Catholic churches burned down in indigenous communities in British Columbia on Saturday. Officers said both buildings were completely destroyed and they were treating the fires as suspicious. Last week, 2 other Catholic churches were destroyed as Canada marked National Indigenous Peoples Day. It comes after hundreds of unmarked graves were found at sites of 2 former residential schools in Canada. Between 1863 and 1998, more than 150,000 Indigenous children were taken from their families and placed in these church-run schools. A 2008 commission to document the impact of this system found that large numbers of Indigenous children never returned home. The commission's report said the practice amounted to cultural genocide. And finally, approximately 100 people who attended a cockfight in Kingston Town, Jamaica on Sunday were surprised when police and military personnel swooped down on the district. 11 persons were detained, 2 cocks were also seized. The Gleaner reports that the security forces approached the wooded site of the cockfight about 3 p.m. The island-wide curfew begins at 2 p.m. on Sundays. The vast majority of the attendees fled on seeing the police. The 11 detainees were escorted to a nearby police station where they were expected to be charged for breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act. Cockfights are illegal in Jamaica but draw crowds in hideaways where gamblers bet huge sums. The sport contravenes the Cruelty to Animals Act of 1904, which was amended in 1995. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.